mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. Before a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. Before a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. 'Cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Thank you so much, Misty Fisher.
I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Second live of today. Today is August 16th, 2024, 9:22 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour, bonjour, my beautiful pearls. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Hope you are well. Hope your Friday evening is going good. TGIF. TGIF. Thank God in heaven that it is Friday. Oh, Lord, back to school and all of that. So couldn't come soon enough. Misty Fisher, wanted to thank you so very much for renewing your membership, my friend. Appreciate you. And Zelda, thank you so much, my friend, for 6 months. Really do appreciate you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Your younger brother's birthday is today. Well, happy birthday to your brother, Bobby J. Hope it has been a good one. Yes, thank you, Misty Moonlight. Please hit that thumbs up button as it greatly helps get the word out there. You know, a lot of I always think it feels like there's a lot of nothing at the same time going on in this case. There's a lot of things that are not related to Sebastian that really makes no difference in if finding Sebastian whatsoever. There's a lot of politics and fighting and all of that, but we stay out of that stuff. They can keep it. Malikat, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace. Really do appreciate that, my dear. If you received that pearl necklace, come on now. Give Malikat a big thank you, because I'm going to be doing a members only live, maybe even tonight. We'll have to see. Uh Hello, Joe South. Good to see you, my dear. Uh-oh. Um, Go ahead if you want to call in. Go ahead and call in. It'll just be live. Second chance to be muted. Right, YouTuber? Right, YouTuber? When one door closes, you better one will. That is right. That is right. That is right. Joe South, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace, my dear. Come on now. If you received it, give our Joe a big thank you for that. Thank you for your support, Joe. Really do appreciate that, my dear. Very sweet of you. So, Sebastian Rogers case. It's time for answers, right? Cracking that whip. Let's get on with it, right? Sebastian needs to be found like stat. We are coming up on a half of a year. Half of a year, y'all. It's crazy. Irony Rose, thank you, my dear. Thank you so very much for becoming a rose. A rose. A pearl to your rose. Maybe that's what I was trying to say. Thank you so much, Irony Rose. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Welcome to the family. Means so much, my dear. Thank you so much. Gemini lady. Honey. Listen. You gotta be in the bushes. Nobody has to be in the bushes. The closet's too small and it's too dark to decorate. Get out. Come on now.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Come on out. Talk to us. The water's fine. The water's fine. Thank you for 5 months, my dear. Really do appreciate the support, Gemini. Thank you. Thank you, Whispering Winds. I am the bush. Well, honey, you better trim it. Trim it. Get on with it. Trim it. And I lost my membership. I changed my debit card, so I'm not sure. Nancy, yeah. If you like, you'll have a little green, like $sign, or your name will be in green as well. Maybe that's what it is. Oh my God, Gemini lady, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you, my dear. Really do appreciate you gifting 5 pearl necklaces. That's amazing. What is this one? Oh, that's that one. Thank you so much for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. That's phenomenal. Really do appreciate that, my dear. Where do y'all want to go on the train? Where should we go? Ready? Let's go. Tell me in chat.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next
Beep, beep,
stop
mother
is
chickens.
Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Thank you so much, Gemini, for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, beep, beep, mother chicken. Thank you so much, Gemini lady. Really do appreciate the support. And if you received one of those pearl necklaces, give it up for Gemini lady because she just got you some members only lives. How about that? Thank you so much, Gemini lady. Very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much, my dear. Hey, Mindy. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate that. Hey, Justin, I sent you a text. Please take a minute to read it while live. I think I may have figured out what happened that night. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Live sweet. No, you're fine. Sorry, I hit the button again. Thank you for that. And if you want to call in, you can call in. We're taking calls as well. So you're welcome to, my dear. Thank you, but I will read it. Sure. Tasha, my darling, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace. You guys are just pearling it up tonight. Thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for your support. And if you receive that, you know what to do. Give our girl Tasha a big, big thank you. Thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate you very much. Hello, Faye. Good to see you. Forget me not. Aries, Sue, Maurice, PM. Good to see you. Hello, Sally. I'm ready for college football. It's almost football season, isn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy. Pearls are looking beautiful. They are all my pearls are. You guys are always glistening. Always glistening. What's your favorite MLB? I have no idea. I don't know. I know nothing about football. Nothing. Literally nothing. I mean, you need you need something, you need some information about crime, makeup, plants. I'm your girl. But other than that, can't really help you. MLB is baseball. See, that's how much I knew about it. Told you. That's exactly what I knew. Told you I don't know none about it. Haunted Housewife, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace. My pearls, they're needing pearls. Thank you so much, my dear. If you received that, come on. Give our Haunted Housewife a big, big thank you. Very sweet of you, my dear. Thank you so much. It is time to bring Sebastian home, Elaine. It is time. And it is past time. And in my opinion, people know. People know where Sebastian is, right? There is nothing to suggest that Sebastian left on his own. Yeah, they can drop the ink for the link for the iPhone. Sorry about that. Guys, I wanted to tell you something though. There let me just make sure that they have not found this boy yet. Make sure before I do this. Bear with me. Okay. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it. So let's bring this to you. All right, so here we go. This is not related to Sebastian, but it is another child in Tennessee. Here is the photo. This is Kingsport, Tennessee. The Kingsport Police Department is asking for the public for help in finding a runaway juvenile. Rylan Bledsoe, Bledsoe, 13 years old, was reported missing by his guardian at 6:20 p.m. on August 11th. That's been, what, 5 days? A recent KPD release states Ryan is 5'10", weighs about 172 pounds. He has blue eyes, brown hair. He was last seen in the area of Dunbar Street in Kingsport wearing a black t-shirt and black shorts. Anyone with information to Ryland's location is asked to contact the Kingsport Central Dispatch at 423-246-9111, 423-246-9111, or the Criminal Investigation Division at 423-229-9429. Anonymous tips can also be submitted online via citizens feedback form available at the following link. I will drop that link in chat as well. Anonymous tips. Probably also do it at Crime Stoppers, but it doesn't say that. But so right here is a photo of this 13-year-old. Says he is a runaway. 13 years old, 5'10", 172 pounds. Let me make it bigger for you. Yeah, sounds like, in my opinion, it kind of sounds like this might be something like a foster. I don't know that for sure, of course, but it definitely sounds like he's running. Did he have shoes on? Good question, right? Good question. It's very interesting how there is a lot of cases that it seems like they don't have shoes, right? No shoes. But yeah, I was just looking to make sure he hadn't been found. I mean, that's quite a long time, 5 days for a 13-year-old. You know what I mean? Yes, exactly. All right. So Misty wrote me one second. Someone just wrote me something and wanted to give her opinion on this. She writes in, and this is just her opinion, and I'll share it with you. I wonder if C snuck in the house and K and C was in their bedroom without Sebastian knowing. Because I do not think C was supposed to be at the house. I think that CPS told C to stay away from the house after Sebastian told his teachers about C whipping him. And they were doing whatever. And then suddenly C gets a notification from the camera going off in the kitchen, and he sees Sebastian in the kitchen getting a snack or drink or whatever. He yells at Sebastian. Sebastian not only hears him through the phone via the camera, but he also hears C voice coming from the bedroom. Then Sebastian gets mad and tells them that he is going to tell on C for being at the house when he's isn't supposed to be. Chris gets pissed and goes into the kitchen to confront Sebastian and gets into a fight with Sebastian to get away from C, because C could have his hands around Sebastian. And that's where Sebastian would get his bites from to turn him loose. And he also gets scratches. C loses his cool and does some, would unalive. So that is just someone's opinions, hypothesis, or theories. In no way we are saying anyone is innocent or guilty. They are presumed innocent in a court of law. Yeah, so was someone texting their theory. That's very it's possible. I was just let me look at something that I know we look at the bites on, or the what I would like bites, right? But what about the scratches? We don't really look. Okay, I don't got it on that one. Let me see if I got it on this one. No, I've got one with his hands, and his hands are really tore up. Now, from what he says, he works on a crane, right? Now, that's not a job that's really going to get your hands tore up, is it? What do y'all think? Is that something that's going to get your hands tore up? I mean, isn't it pretty much pushing buttons in the air? I mean, I don't know, to be quite honest with you. Damn, where is that picture? I've got to make these files smaller so it doesn't take me as much time to go in it, because it's okay. Here it is. Now, clearly, there is a lot going on there, right? Oops, wrong one. What do y'all think? Do you think that's something that, I mean, a dog do that? I mean, if he would have said we had cats in our house, but we know that doesn't happen, right? we know that doesn't happen because I actually read you the thing. Oh, I think I did that in the members only live. I'll read it out in just a moment about what CP said about a pet cat. All right, we are getting a caller. Why is my 1 second? Hello, caller.
Hello, this is Bernice, and this is my opinion of what happened to Sebastian.
Okay, can you speak up a little bit, dear?
Okay, this
Yep, better.
I think CPS took Sebastian away from everyone, both families, and of course they won't, and put him in a foster home,
Mm-hmm.
and they won't tell anybody, about it. It's a secret, but the police know about it. And that's why the police aren't ready to act it, because they know what happened. But they don't want to tell what happened. Because I think Chris might have made an agreement with the police, and because he didn't want to miss getting Faith, so they promised to keep it quiet.
Well, but I mean, that's that's a conspiracy. What
No,
what you're describing.
No, that's how it works. They don't tell anyone where the child is. They'll come to your house.
No, honey, that's not how ma'am, that's not how CPS works. It's really not. I mean, my literally my best friend, I saw her this morning. She works for CPS. I mean, there is laws that they have to abide by. I mean, I mean, what would be the purpose of, I mean, what would be the purpose of keeping them away? They take kids away all the time. And they don't have a problem with telling their parents. I mean, I've been a foster care parent. I've been an emergency foster care parent. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
they spent I would say upwards in the millions of dollars with all of the searching that they have done and all that. They wouldn't take him out in the middle of the night, and plus there would be something on camera of of
well,
sub-
the flashlight, the flashlight, that
Mhm.
could have been CPS just doing it, just for a show, just so people wouldn't.
But honey, people don't just people. I mean, what would be the point, though? I mean, they would just take them away and say we're taking them away. We're taking him away.
Well,
They don't need to.
no,
They don't need to make this big conspiracy about it.
yeah, they do need to do it in secret. It'd be like protection deal where.
That is what CPS is for, child protection.
But Chris made an agreement with him. He told him that he wouldn't be able to get Faith if everybody found out about it.
CPS doesn't care about his court hearings, they don't care. I mean, they just don't care.
Chris doesn't have any pull over there.
I mean,
What about maybe he made a deal with the sheriff? He's no longer there, so maybe things will change.
no.
But
Yeah, I'll have to highly disagree with you on that one. I just don't think. Actually, I know that's not possible. Respectfully, it's just uh, too much conspiracy. Uh, they don't do this for one child. It's not the. This isn't the. The. It's just not. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, well, I've never been involved with CPS.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but I'm thinking about the protection where the government will take people and protect them. If there's some kind of witness protection service.
Yes.
If
Yes.
that-
But they don't kidnap kids under the night. I mean, look,
yeah,
follow people's behavior. Follow their behavior, right? Follow what they say. Follow their words, right? That's what you follow. People will tell you who they are. They will always tell who they are. You just have to look deep enough. Yes, and that is exactly right, Mohawk. CPS does need a judge to sign off on removing a child.
So when a family has a child taken away from them, that family knows where that child is. Know the foster home where that child is.
Generally not. But the CPS workers knows. Obviously, the agency knows. The court definitely knows as well. So
Well, they said the CPS is not talking, so yeah, they might know, but they're not talking for some reason. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to keep it a secret. Maybe they're trying to keep it away from Steph. He wouldn't agree with it, maybe.
well, I mean,
'Cause
CPS wouldn't agree with it because that's not the way they work. It's just not the way they work.
So you don't think? I thought people were saying they wish that CPS would take Sebastian out of that family, out of that house. I mean,
Well,
why don't they?
it's not up for, people can wish. I can wish on, I can wish for world peace. I can wish for $1 billion. I can wish for my favorite candidate for president. But wishing is just a wish. It's not the law, and the law matters. So it doesn't change. I mean, there's corruption in places. Nobody's going to deny that, but there would have to be literally the entire. There's the good thing about our beautiful country is there is checks and balances, and from every step of agency of government, everything is an oversight, right? And you would have to have the police on it. You would have to have the FBI with it. You would have to have the Secret Service. And they're just not going to do anything like that. Yeah, and that is true, Mohawk. CPS will generally remove the parent, not the child, if at all possible. Because believe it or not, CPS does listen. They fail at times. I'm not gonna lie, but they really want the child in the home, if at all possible.
Well, it seems like Sebastian is in danger, in my opinion. But in living with Chris and Katie,
Mm-hmm.
and CPS is involved there, but I guess it's not bad enough for them to remove him then.
Well,
I think here in Texas, I'm from Texas, and I think in Texas they do remove the child. They'll take all children out.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some states will do that. We'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your call.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I try to make people think. I really try to make people think. That's what I try to do more than anything. But she wasn't willing. Clutch your pearls. Hello? Okay, you got to turn your camera, or you got to turn your phone off. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Justin. It's Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda.
I tried to catch you in chat. It's moving very fast. Is it possible to go back to the beginning of those pictures? You flashed one I've never seen, and it looked like a completely round bite mark of a mouth, and it looked like Sebastian's two front teeth were obviously a little bit bigger and kind of set off.
Yeah, I've got that photo. Yeah.
Can we see that one again, please?
Sure.
I would really love to, because I mean, I've never seen it, and when I saw it, it was like very clear to me what I felt it was, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You're probably talking about this photo. Excuse me. You're probably talking about. Are you talking about that photo?
It was a little bit clearer than that when you were going through. You had it like on the right-hand side of the screen with a few other pictures.
Let me look here.
Really very close to the beginning of where you started.
Well, let's see. If you're talking about that photo, these are just comparing. These
I know this is a comparison, but that one.
Okay.
The far right.
So
You can't tell me that's not a photo.
no, okay. I wanna make something clear. The photos here on the three on the bottom, these are all this is a bite, but it's not related to anything of Chris or.
Oh, that's just an example picture.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yeah.
Okay, yes. If you look at that one next to it, if that is on Chris or CP, excuse me, looks pretty similar. Honestly, just didn't get the full. I mean, that looks to me like a lot like a human bite, and it looks like a Sebastian bite due to the teeth structure, in my opinion.
Right. That's why I was showing you this other one, because people had done their comparison, their unscientific comparison, but
I appreciate that. It just caught my eye tonight.
Yeah.
I have two other things. I finally remembered what it was that lost my mind. Why in my opinion, I feel it was premeditated. They told CPS Seth was not involved, so they did not plan to ever let Seth find out about any of this.
Yeah. According, that's what Seth said.
Because I feel CPS would have, if they would have said Seth was involved, don't you think CPS would have investigated Seth real quick and removed Sebastian to Seth's for a temporary order and let Chris stay in the home. So
That's a
by
good
them
point.
saying that he's not involved, they bypassed
Now,
the chance of Sebastian going there.
that's a good point, but I do want to say that I do believe that CPS had been to Seth as well, but I don't think they made the connection between the two families.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I
Yeah,
think
Yeah, I got you.
I think you may be onto something because allegedly Seth said that CPS didn't, Chris and Katie had allegedly said that, Seth wasn't in his life, and that's why I guess he wasn't notified. Right.
Exactly, and they did that on purpose because they did not want Sebastian to say something.
Right.
Something was going on there at that house really bad, and they don't want it exposed, and that's why this ultimately, I believe, happened instead of him going to live with Seth. I mean, I think they had to stop whatever he was going to say. And one other quick question.
Mhm.
Did you ever find out if the bedroom light came on at 6 a.m. from the neighbors?
No, I haven't found that out.
Okay.
I'm
I
really,
would love to know that. That would be such a telling thing.
yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking my call. I appreciate everything you do. You have a great night, Justin.
Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. So he can't go to 2 different schools at the same time. Yep, he can't do that now. But also, Seth did get the papers. He can't. Did you ever find out about the trash bin? Remind me, Mohawk. Crazy Ape, thank you, my dear, for 3 months, my dear. Good to see you. Thank you so much for your support, your continued support. Really do appreciate that. It is it is 50-50 custody, right? But visitation, right? Visitation, they've, I don't know. I do believe that if I don't know. I'm not going to say. Okay. Yeah. The below the photo of the dog is a Morkie that is very similar in size as the one CP and KP had. Justin, we all know that he was getting custody after school. They ever live in Kansas? I don't think so. Someone brought up Kansas recently. I'll have to look on something, but I don't think so. I don't know. Someone, maybe Kansas rings a bell for some reason, but I'll have to check on something. Katie never agreed to Seth getting Sebastian permanently. Well, and that's the thing, Drew, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace, my love. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Love you to pieces, my dear. Thank you so much. Kansas sounds familiar, but Seth said they lived in Kansas. I think there might be something on the background or something. I'll talk about that. But it's why is Chris is constantly he's the middle, right? He's the middle. He's the one talking to Katie. He's the one talking to Seth. And in my opinion, he is the one manipulating the circumstance. I don't think Katie wanted to give up most of her time with Sebastian. I really don't. Because Chris said, was it Chris or Seth or both of them? So we kind of had to talk talk her into it a little bit. Thank you for being 503 Soldier Girl. Appreciate you, my dear. Why has law enforcement never checked out these photos if they did see his arm in the first few weeks? Robin, I'm sure that they have seen these photos by now. However, this was the end of February, right? You're not going to look crazy if you have a long sleeve shirt on at that time. They have not been named suspects to be, according to law enforcement. So they were looking for a child that walked out of the house. Right? That's why they are not doing anything in this. There's something, but I was live earlier. We were talking about these cases, and I was doing a live earlier about Dr. Hoover, and Dr. Hoover is a neuroscientist who was unalived, had a 12,000 square foot home. They pretty much knew from day one who it was. They let him go, and the man unalived another person in like a road rage incident after he unalived Dr. Hoover. He said he wasn't a threat. And that took over a year and a half, almost 2 years, for him to be arrested. They knew almost from the beginning, right? Almost, it was over a year and a half for sure. These things can take time because why? They want you have one shot. You have one shot for these cases. And sometimes, and remember, guys, specifically if it is a case where data is telling the story, remember that if data is telling the story, it takes that much longer. They have one shot to get it right. Would you rather have, I mean, I understand you want them in, whoever does a crime in jail immediately. But sometimes, you have to look at it from, would you rather have that person out for a year, 2 years, 3 years, or even longer, and make sure that they spend the rest of their life in jail, or 20 or 30 or 40 years, something like that, pretty much as a lifetime? Or would you rather them throw them in jail, half-ass the case, do no justice for anybody? it just depends. It really just depends. Lisa, my love, thank you so much for gifting that pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you, my dear. If you received Lisa or our Drew's, one second, y'all.
Hi.
Hey, Taylor, how are you doing?
So, I'm good. How are you tonight?
Good, thank you.
Good. So my question is, they don't have any scent of him existing in that whole entire house. They couldn't find a scent him leaving. They couldn't find a scent of him in that house.
Well,
So basically,
not in the house, not inside the house. That's a misconception. Of course, the scent was inside the house.
okay. So they have nothing of him leaving the house at any direction, any door, any garage. They check all angles with the dog as far as all the exit points. Yeah.
They have no scent of him leading to anywhere outside of his yard, right? So if he may have been in the yard, he lived there, but he didn't go out very often, of course. But they have nothing of him going any direct. Right.
Right. So that can only mean one thing. He's either still in the house or he was taken out of the house and put in the trunk. And if he's not in the house, then that means there's only other one other theory. Now, if the cars are cleared through forensics, that only means that they didn't use their vehicles, they used someone else's vehicle.
Yeah,
the police are not aware.
Yeah, I would be, I would say, you said, I don't know why he walked out of that door, like via Katie. That is her words. I don't know why he walked out that door. Well, if you don't know why he walked out that door and we don't have him on camera and we don't have a scent, so tell me how the hell he got out. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. How do you know he wasn't kidnapped? Right?
Exactly. You don't know nothing. You assume that he just left and he walked out the front door. You have no indication through any video footage to show that he left that home. You got no indication from the dogs he left that home. You're just saying, why did he walk out that door? Well, did you see him walk out that door? So you're lying. You weren't asleep, so you're lying. And how does Chris know so much details and everything? Well, he's lying too, because he was there. He knows so much details that only a person who was there would know those kinds of details. Pretty simple. Self-explanatory.
I think so. I agree with you. I agree.
It's very self-explanatory. And the LE, they dropped the bucket on this one. I'm sorry. I apologize. No disrespect.
No, I think they dropped the bucket on the first few days. I absolutely do. I think that the laws needs to be changed.
All because of those parents, Katie and Chris.
Well,
the reason why the bucket was dropped, because they misled everybody to believe he ran away. Then, he's missing. The story keeps changing. The way they talk changes. The details change. Especially with the son. Now, I'm going to tell you honestly, I have a son who has brain injury. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he has epilepsy, and he has that excess fluid on the brain. I'm going to tell you something right now. If I heard a thud come from my son's room, I don't care how old he is, I'm going to the room.
Absolutely.
Because of the ability of the injury that can occur from that kind of noise.
Yes.
I wouldn't even be calling out. My feet would be in front of probably my body. I would fly up those stairs like nobody's business.
There's no way in a chance, and she's on one level. There's no way in a chance. There's no reason why her lazy ass, and pardon my French, she could not get up and go check on that child. She knows her child has a disability.
Yep.
She knows he had fluid on the brain, and she neglected him. She should have got up and checked on her child. She's negligent too, just as much as Chris is negligent for admitting his abuse to Sebastian. She's negligent as a parent too, because she heard a thud and she knew her child has fluid on the brain, and she did not help or go look at him or make sure she had a visual to see if he was okay.
Mhm.
If she had gotten up, maybe, just maybe, we would have been in a different position. Maybe. But no, she rather stay in her bed or on the telephone with her Chris. Chris was way more important. And how come Chris has never mentioned the thud? He's supposed to be on the telephone at the same time when that thud occurred at 10 o'clock.
Mhm.
He was on the phone with her, he said, at 9:43 p.m. So how come he never mentions about a thud? First, her words were a noise. Then it went to a thud. So which is it? Noise or a thud? Or is it both?
Right. I mean,
What are you saying to us without telling us? So somebody put your child to the ground and it made a thud noise? Is that what you're trying to tell us without telling us?
right.
And Chris had enough time. I don't care if he was seen at Mississippi. He had enough time to be in Hendersonville and drive back to Mississippi before his work started. I'm sorry. And this nonsense started on Friday, according to Terry Lynn. Terry Lynn said the arguments and the disagreement started on Friday evening at the poker game because Sebastian was on the computer. So obviously Chris had it in for Sebastian from that point. And we may not know what's in the CPS report, but we know enough to say, guess what? From what he's admitted and the things he said, oh, no child's going to take me out of my house. Well, there you go. You got your answer. You got your motive. He did not want a child dictating how his life was going to be led. And it's very clear to me that Chris and Katie are both equally, in my opinion, responsible for Sebastian's vanishing act. It doesn't matter where he is or what he is, they're both liable because they were the parents in charge of Sebastian. Now, how come Seth had Sebastian and many times he went to work, like he said, and nothing happened to Sebastian? How come that is? How come he was in the custody of his father and nothing bad ever happened to
Well,
Sebastian?
you know,
And when it did, he tried to protect him.
well, if Sebastian, in my opinion, wanted to leave, he had plenty of time during the daytime when he could have left. Not to mention, not.
And if you see how much CPS reports, first it was one report, now we hear it's two, and possibly it could be more. I say it's maybe 3 or 4. Who knows? Maybe 5. And maybe another state that we're not even aware of where they live. We don't know if that's where they lived all the time. It could be different states that we're unaware of because the truth is not fully coming out. But the fact remains, those parents, Chris and Katie, are negligent for the ability for Sebastian to be here in faith, for people to see who he is. If they're not responsible, then who is? He was in their care and custody, period. It don't matter what at the end of the day happened to him, they're still negligent. They still should be charged for negligence on the disappearance and the vanishing of a 15-year-old child. He is not an adult. He's still a child. And they should be charged for negligent behavior as parents and for the disappearance. Until they can prove where he is, they should be in jail right now. They shouldn't be walking around free, in my opinion. And, it depends, I guess, on what city and what state you live in and what country you live in.
I mean,
I'm telling you.
I agree. I think, like in Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell's case, right? Like they said they did say the kids, but they said they were, they took them somewhere. Now, Katie is saying, just one second, just one second. Katie is saying that Sebastian willingly walked out by himself. Well, first of all, and like we said earlier, how does she know that? But after there's no scent, there's no article of clothing, there's nothing on camera, there's nothing to suggest he walked out the door, I would have, pushed back and been like, you need to produce this child. Now
But I
that's
still think the police need to say that to them and say, hello, we have done our due diligence, and they have.
Mhm.
According to everything we know, the police have done their due diligence according to what they dictated was the problem.
Mhm.
That's what I tell you. The laws have to change. The laws have to change. When kids go missing, or children or adults with disabilities, they need to treat it as, foul play until they can prove otherwise.
Yeah.
If I was the police over there, I would have said, okay, we've done our due diligence.
Mhm.
We have no Sebastian. We can't find him. He's not shown back at home. This is it. Until you can prove to us otherwise, we have to charge you with negligence of a child disappearing, and he will be, assumed deceased unless you can produce otherwise.
Mhm.
I don't think, as parents, we have a certain responsibility, and if your child disappears, it's your responsibility, and it was on your watch. It's your responsibility to prove that you were not around, or that I don't care how much you cooperate.
Mhm.
The fact is, Sebastian is still not found.
Yeah.
And you were the last people who were adults supervising him.
Right.
Where is he?
Yes.
I would say, as an officer or a sheriff, I'd be embarrassed to show my face down there as a sheriff. I would say, excuse me, we've done our job. He hasn't come back. We can't find him. So you're going to jail for negligent behavior until you can prove otherwise he's alive. And until you can produce he's alive, you'll stay in that jail. Because it's not right, because they're also holding the whole neighborhood hostage. Because those kids and parents around that neighborhood is walking around on eggshells, not knowing whether he was kidnapped,
Yep.
whether he was murdered, whether he was, whatever. They don't know. Now their kids can't grow up in a feeling in a safe environment because the Proudfoot won't take responsibility for their behavior. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, you can't play house and not take responsibility. It's time for the police to stop playing house with them and start saying, look, we've done our due diligence.
Yep. Footsie's
You
over.
can't
Footsie's
return.
over. Yeah. They've worked their ass off. The police have, and it's just time for the. Mhm.
And you could say we have evidence to prove that every time someone gets close to finding Sebastian or gets something that touches them, they're the first ones to jump up and scream or threaten or harass or whatever. They've done it Syrian, they've done it JLR, they find different ways to make people uncomfortable.
Mhm.
How
Yep.
come they're not being charged? How come they're not being charged for harassment? How come they're not being charged for all the negligent behavior they created before Faith arrived? Before Faith arrived, Chris was going full bullhorn, not only on YouTubers, but he was going on, everybody. He was going off on the PI, everybody.
Mhm.
So how come he's not being charged for his foul mouth and his harassment and his inappropriate threatening? Why? Because there's a fine line.
Oh, he's actually not on any of these. And in my opinion, probably the reason he's not on those is because he has actually threatened people's lives, like legit.
Exactly. And we've heard him. He submitted to it on public forum. He wanted it out for Chloe, for sure. He was ready to rip her a new backside, for crying out loud. God forgive me for saying that, but that's exactly how he put it.
Yeah.
He goes, she's lucky she's not standing in front of me. So, that's, to me, that's threat. I would feel threatened as a person if someone talked to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel very threatened. But the shameful fact that he's admitted to beating Sebastian at 15 years old on bare buttock with a belt is physical assault.
Yes.
Because if anybody else took a belt to
Yes.
a child,
Yes.
like he did,
Yes.
they'd be locked up.
Yes, because that you cannot hit a child. Well, you can't hit a child. Period. You can't whip a child with an instrument. That is against the law. You cannot hit them with something.
Enough information, in my opinion, for the sheriff or the FBI or CPS or anybody to file charges against Chris and Katie for negligent behavior and abuse. Maybe not on Katie's behalf, abuse, but they can definitely prove negligence on her part because he was with her and her only. Because according to everybody else, there's no way possible Chris could have been at two places at once. Let me tell you, where was he from the hours of six something, and they prove what? It's all by hearsay. No police has come out to confirm.
He said we would have heard it. We would have heard it if he would have went out the window. We would have heard it. And then you've got, in your opinion,
The other thing is, Katie's dogs were always put up when Chris was there.
Yes.
When Chris wasn't there, so why would he tell her to put the dogs up?
Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
why would she tell him to put the dogs up?
And
Well, he put the dogs up because that is the normal routine when Chris comes home.
what do you hear Katie saying whenever she's in the car when she gets all nervous in that interview? He's already talking about this. The he is not Sebastian because she is looking for him. He's already.
And you can tell, like at the end of the day, it's either Katie's gonna break and she's gonna come out with the truth, or she's gonna turn evidence against Chris. Chris is gonna try and flee the country. His mama is gonna go and pay for the bill for him to flee, if he ain't already started.
In your opinion?
Because he's been a little bit, yes, in my opinion, because he's been a little bit too quiet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A little bit too quiet. He's been a little, and everything, it's because of faith, because he doesn't want to lose custody or access to faith. Oh, it's because of faith. But let me tell you, if Katie feels threatened by a curator, okay, I won't mention her name, but if she feels threatened by a curator, then is it really safe for Faith to be in that home? I think not. If the Bowersox are threatened by that curator, then Faith should not be around the Bowersox either, because there's a possibility that person who they feel so threatened by could possibly create a violent situation if that's what they're saying. So Faith should not be entering that homes anymore, because between the Bowersox and the Proudfoot, in my opinion, it's not safe. Whether Chris has put the same, order against the curator or not.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying to the world that it's dangerous for them. They feel in danger. So if that's the case, then no child should be put in that position ever again to be in that home. Because if you feel that threatened and you got to take a protective order, then you are basically saying your home is not a safe environment.
That's true.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
So Faith should not ever enter back in there, because they are saying they feel threatened to the point that they feel that bodily harm could come to them.
Now,
That's why they're asking for a protection order.
I'm surprised that they allowed any child to go there. I mean, if they're saying they don't know the child walked out by himself, if someone could have even took him,
I gather it was because it was all predetermined before Sebastian had left. And because it was all predetermined before Sebastian left, shared access,
Mm-hmm.
So once that's already
Right.
in place, they're not going to overturn it. They'd have to go back and have a hearing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Chris was the one that said we're not going to have a hearing. He is the one that stopped the hearings from going forward. So that's why the predetermined access had to happen.
Yeah.
Because
But
they had no official court
right.
hearing
Well,
to
and
change it otherwise.
yes, that, and they have not named anyone a suspect as well.
Well, that's the other problem. But the police do, in my opinion, again, they have enough evidence to prove negligence and abuse.
Mm-hmm.
They have enough to hold them in jail. If they can take Don Wills and hold him against for parking and fee fines and this and that in jail, why can't they hold them for their own words? Sorry, but it was their words and their actions that proved to me they're both negligent and one abused.
Mm-hmm.
So you have enough, you could charge him for that. You don't even need to talk about anything else. You could just talk about their words and the fact that he's missing. And the judge would favor and say to the, district attorney, yeah, like this is 6 months and no word. No word, not one sign, not one signal, not one human being. They could say, oh, North Carolina, everything has been shot down by the Proudfoot. Every item that's been found by anybody. No, it's not Sebastian. So you're taking the word of the parents. You're not going to do the testing? In other countries, they do DNA testing before they rule out the item. They don't sit there and deny and say, well, the parents say no, well, then it's not it. They don't go by what the parents say. They go by their what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do the testing. And it's not too late for them to go in and do, the luminol.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It doesn't matter how much bleach you use there, Katie. I want you to hear me. They can still detect the blood with luminol.
Well,
No matter how much you clean with bleach. Might put off the dogs, but it definitely won't put off the luminol.
But also, just because there's no blood doesn't mean there wasn't a crime either.
That too, but I guarantee some blood happened. You look at his arms, and I don't care what you tell me. You can't convince me otherwise. I'll go to my grave. God help me for saying this, but that boy bit that man, and he scratched him, and he bit him for his life. He was fighting to defend himself against that man.
In your opinion. You got to say in my opinion.
In my opinion. And I will go to my grave saying it. And the day they go to court, I'm going to be there. I'm going to listen to everything. And when it all comes out, the truth, then I'm going to say, you're busted, buddy. Like I told you on. One time he harassed me and said, how will you know anything? I said, dead people talk, and your words and everything you're doing, people will eventually get tired of you, sir. They will get unafraid, and they will speak. It's time for us to stand up for Sebastian. It's time for Sebastian to shine and be found and be brought to peace, wherever he is at.
Yeah.
He needs peace. It doesn't matter if they got him locked up in some ward. It doesn't matter if he's deceased. He deserves to be brought home to his country, to his city, to his home, and have peace.
Yep.
And that's what Sebastian deserves. And he deserves justice, no matter if it's limited at this point or not.
Right.
But throw all your cards in one egg basket until they get a body, they're not going to do anything. Why do you need a body? You have enough evidence to prove that they're negligent. You have enough evidence to prove they abused him.
I mean, look at the Wells case. They could have proved negligent. I mean, I don't agree with them the way that if they sign over their rights, they won't get prosecution. Why do that? Prosecute them anyway. Prosecute them and take.
Prosecute them on what you can, and then when you can. The judge, I've heard in some cases they have holded parents in jail until they can show produce. If they can charge another parent for kidnapping the child,
Exactly.
then why can't they charge them for negligent behavior and negligent as a parent over a minor child? And not to mention, his own words says he abused. There's previous history show he has done physical abuse. There's previous CPS report. They have enough evidence to prove his actions against Sebastian was negligent and abusive.
Right.
So they have a lot more on Chris than they do maybe on Katie. But at the end of the day, you still have enough evidence. This child just doesn't vanish. He's not like an alien, as everybody would say. Is there alien? Is he an alien? No, he was a human being. He was a child. And for no reason whatsoever, nobody can find no answers to where this child is.
And,
Why?
special needs child at that. You know what I mean?
And they keep putting that on the back burner. But let me tell you, I think Sebastian is a very high, intelligent human being.
Absolutely.
He's very smart. And I don't care what those parents is. From what I hear from Seth and what I've watched on video, that child was very articulate, very smart, very beyond his years. If you had given him half of a chance, they wanted to beat something out of him that was a part of who he was. That's what they wanted to do. Chris wanted him to be his little slave, right? And it didn't work out because he had his own mind. Sebastian had his own opinion. And they didn't like it because as Sebastian grew, he got more opinionated. He got more aggressive with how he defied the way he was being treated and objected to it. And I would do too. And he started talking, and that's what happened. He started talking a little bit too much, and that's what happens when you talk too much around Mr. Chris. You look at his history in Alaska. People better start Googling the history of Chris when he was a young child. He has a lot of bad history. He did a lot of bad things to a lot of people.
Allegedly.
Mama covered for him.
Allegedly,
in my opinion. But you talk to any Alaskans, they'll tell you a lot about Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris wasn't a nice young man. He was not a nice young man. He may have not got prosecuted as a child because he had his mama's money, allegedly, to bail him out of all his problems and pay off people. But that's my opinion. But I think I'm kind of right. But again, here we are. Everybody's sitting on the thumb. That sheriff, he is just accountable, if not more responsible than anybody right now, if he doesn't do something real soon where it comes. And sitting there on your website and saying you're not going to be accountable to the public. Well, who do you work for, sir? You work for your public.
They are public servants. Yes.
That's exactly it. So if you as a sheriff now are saying you're not accountable as a public servant and to the public, then what are you doing in that position? You don't have no business being there.
Are you saying are you alleging that Chris lived in Alaska?
Chris has ties in Alaska. His mother has ties in Alaska. If you ever hear any of the interviews, he gets really angry when you talk about Mama and Alaska. Two things he gets very hot under the collar about.
Yeah.
And he would say, "Oh, my parents worked there. That's why I was up there. His stepfather worked there." It's always about his parents. It's everybody else. That's the problem. It's everybody else's problem, but not Chris' problem. Chris never created his problem. Sebastian created the problem. Katie caused the problem. Seth caused the problem. Everybody's responsible for this except for Chris. Chris will never admit at all that he's liable for nothing except for what he's admitted to, and that's he only did that because he flipped the tongue.
I mean, I've heard about him in military, right? But I have not heard anything, about Alaska. I don't know anything about Alaska.
Oh, I wonder if he got discharged from the military for his bad behavior, just like he got discharged from St. Jude, in my opinion. Bad attitude. Because apparently it came out that his coworker said he was asked to leave the job. Because he had a bad attitude. That's what he said. I had to ask him to leave because his attitude had a bad attitude.
Yeah.
That day, on the 26th. He didn't come home on his own. Why didn't he come on his own? If my spouse, child, who I claim to be my son, is missing, you bet your bottom dollar as soon as she called me, I go to my superior and say, I'd like to leave. I have a family emergency. My stepson is missing. There's no way I would tallywag myself around that job and not ask to leave or inform my superiors that I have a family emergency. He didn't care about Sebastian because they know we're passionate. They've always known we're passionate. They're not, you don't see them sweating bullets like Seth is. You don't see them upset or their face distorted or they're sleep deprived. No, you don't. You know why you don't? Because they know where Sebastian is. They've always known where Sebastian is.
In your opinion?
The police and in my opinion. And the police and the judge, in my opinion, need to make them accountable and explain, where is this child? 6 months has gone now, pretty much. Where is this child? Explain to us where he is, because we would like to know.
What is your opinion? I like kind of scratching your brain here. What is your opinion on the him allegedly being there at 5:30 in the morning?
Chris being at Hendersonville and 5:30?
No, him being allegedly at work at 5:30.
Do I believe it? No. Was a card punched? Is there any proof there's a punch? Or is it just by word of mouth? You could say people off. You could say, hey, I'll throw you a couple of $100. Just say I was here. Everybody does it. I don't care who you are. Everybody throws money at anybody and can ask them to cover for them. Can you prove it? Is it on video? Nobody can prove it. It's not on video. There's no punch card. So until then, I'd say the chances are 50-50. He was either in Hendersonville or he was there.
Well,
Who knows where he was?
I was playing something he said the other night on another channel, and he said that his wife, Sebastian, and his family, I'm guessing the Bowerfoots, all have Life 360. And I thought, well, that's very nice. If I had all of these, if I was in his situation, I would just show the hell where I was and shut everybody up.
Yeah, why don't they prove that? And I don't believe.
I mean, that'd be so simple.
I believe they cleaned that house out of those cameras. I believe they had cameras inside, just like Nina said. I believe Nina. I believe everything she went through. 100% in my opinion. I believe her. I believe her. I believe the ex-wives are so petrified they're too scared to even talk.
Oh,
Broke her stuff. Broke.
listen, I know
But they
someone
can talk.
that has Chris on a video of him throwing a fit. I mean, and Chris has no idea when he was.
Allegedly, he was also at one of the restaurants, and he threw a fit because they didn't give him tater tots. Did you hear about that one?
Tater
He threw a
tots.
fit. Yes, because they gave him French fries instead of tater tots. One of the waitresses came forward and said he threw a fit
Tater tot.
because he didn't get tater tots
Chris.
instead of fries. Yeah. So, he flips out on the littlest things on people. It's not just Sebastian. It's not just Katie. It won't be just anybody. It's anybody in his life. If they don't meet his standards, he flips. If it doesn't meet his standards, he'll flip. In my opinion, he's a narcissist, psychopath, in my opinion. I feel that because he goes up and then he goes down, and he goes extreme, then he goes.
That's it.
He's like an angel, then he's a devil. Like
Dictator. He's a dictator because I always said because he's a dick and he looks like a tater. Tot.
Well, I don't know if you can even. You see, you're giving him way too much credit because I don't think he's. A tater tot is far more better looking and tastier than him. Honestly, don't even waste your energy. That poor tater tot. The kids will be ruined for life. They won't even touch another tater tot if you ever put them in the tomb grounds. I just think tater tots are far better even than Chris, in my opinion. I do. Chris and Katie have a lot of answering to do, and the government and the police and the judge and the CPS need to start saying the real questions. Allegedly, where is this child? Where have you put him? Because he's not missing. He didn't walk away. We can't find him on no video. They need to confront them with what they have and say, look, explain. Because if you can't explain, we're going to be charging you for negligence of care. And until you can prove otherwise, you're going to get locked up. We're going to put you in jail because you can't prove to us where this child is. We cannot find him. They can say he cooperated, but they're the ones that created the problem in the beginning because they gave a picture of Sebastian when he was almost 8 years old. Why would you give a picture of your child, of an 8-year-old child's picture, if you have a picture of him at Christmas time? Why would you not give him the Christmas picture? Why did you wait to give them the most recent picture? When the police come to anybody's home when a child's missing, the first thing they say is, what is the last recent picture you took? Can we have it, please? They never, ever say anything else to you, but can we have the most recent picture?
Well, I was explaining the other day, you take a look at what, they say he was wearing, right? They said, black shirt and a jogger, and then CP says Adidas striped pants and a character shirt. How would he know? He wasn't there. And then
that's what I said. The story keeps very changing.
But then emergency management and Craddock said, it's starting to get cold outside. We don't even know what he's wearing. Katie, you couldn't even give a description of what your child was accurately wearing. Yes, exactly. You know exactly that he was walking out the front door, but you don't know what he's wearing. Come on now.
Baloney. She knows exactly what her child is. So does Chris.
Yeah.
And if we don't know, Chris knows. And don't tell me she's a mother. Mother's Day came. Don't think for 1 minute she didn't go see her child. Don't think for 1 minute she did not go see her child. She went and saw her child. She knows where her child is. She knows. Chris knows. They both know.
In your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, they both know where he is. They're just not saying. They just sit there and think there's going to be another mistaken for them. They got too many players that they threaten. There's too many people that are very angry with them right now. And I'm going to tell you, people are very patient, but one day they're going to talk, whether it be his family, whether it be his neighbors, whether it be his friends.
Ex-wives.
They're all going to start talking. Ex-wives, the ones that aren't talking are going to come forward. And they're going to, it's time for everybody to rise up because it's about this child, Sebastian Rogers. It's not about Chris. It's not about Katie. It's not about Parasoft, in my opinion. This is about Sebastian. They don't like it or not. This is about Sebastian. It's time for everybody to rise up and fight for Sebastian. Fight for his rights, for peace. For peace. He needs peace. He needs to be brought home. regardless of what shape or form, he needs to be brought home. His father, Seth, needs peace. His grandparents need peace. His half-siblings need peace. They all need peace. The people who loved him, his teachers, his friends, the community who loved that child. And now new people love him. The curators, the panels, the people on YouTube, people on Facebook, all these thousands and millions of people around the world love Sebastian.
Yeah.
It's time for us to stand up and say, what are you as a sheriff and as a community and a judge going to do about this? Because this is an abomination to society to have all these children missing. What are we going to do as a world to change this? We need to use Sebastian to make change happen. We need to find Sebastian so we can make the change happen.
Yes.
And whatever it takes, someone with money or not, go in front of the judge. Whoever's got a bit of extra money, because God forbid, if I had some money, I would definitely be before a judge and asking him, please explain to me why we cannot find this child. Where is he?
Yeah.
There must be, and there's got to be an explanation. There's an explanation to everything. But the question is, what can we do to get to the truth? We can start saying, you need to explain to us where this child is, because we've done everything in our power, and they have. So if LD, FBI, Secret Service was involved, drones were involved, heat sensors were involved in these searches, and not one ability to find this young man, why is it all these other young people that have gone missing, they've been able to find them recently? I'll tell you why. Because legitimately they went missing on their own. It wasn't because they were being harmed. Anytime you can't find somebody, it's because someone's altered their ability to be found.
Yeah.
Someone did that, not themselves. And it makes it worse. And they come to find that they come to, it's unfortunate. Some people do run away. I'm not saying that. I was 14 years old when I left my home. Back in those days, you could survive, but I wasn't disabled.
Right.
So what I'm trying to tell you is I had a lot of street smarts and I could survive. But these days, things are not the way it was in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s where you could survive.
Yeah. Things are a lot different now. They're a lot different now. But
it's a lot more crazier, right?
It is. It is.
It's time for us as a community and as the people, because it takes a village to raise a child and it takes a village to protect a child.
It does.
It's time for us to start saying enough is enough. We went through it with the wells. We're not going through this again. It's time for us to start speaking up for these missing children and saying we as a community and as a world want some answers as to why this continually is happening.
Yes.
What us as human beings are we doing to our young people?
Yes.
Our adults, that we cannot find these people.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your passion. I really do appreciate your passion. And a lot of people in this chat has supported you in this phone call and agree with a lot of the things that you have said. So so thank you.
I know to rise for Sebastian, and
it is.
You're doing a marvelous job.
Thank you.
And I want to say all the hours and dedication you've done for Sebastian, God is watching. He knows what you're doing for Sebastian. And Sebastian knows, whether you know it or not. Everyone know this. Sebastian has and will know everything that's being done for him.
Thank you.
Whether you think that so or not. Don't stop believing in him and keep fighting for him, because we're going to find him. We got to keep putting the pressure.
Yeah.
And if some of us have to go to court and some of us have to go to jail for Sebastian, Well, I think it's a good cause because we're going to eventually find this child. And if a judge wants to put a human being behind bars for fighting for the missing child, something's wrong with our system. It needs to be fixed.
I agree. Thank you so much,
No,
my
take
dear.
care. God bless.
God bless
All
you.
right.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Beautiful call.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Wonderful, wonderful call. Wonderful call, right? Wonderful. For sure. For sure. I mean, she was, you know, she was great. She was great. And I think there was, like all of us in this case, there is some frustration, right? I don't care what side you're on, we should all want Sebastian found, right? And again, you guys see it. There's a lot of team this, team that on here. If you like this person, you can't like this person. This is not what I'm about. It's not what I'm ever going to be about. You know, it's what is bizarre to me is that a mother of a 15-year-old autistic child, there is nobody that can advocate for a child like their parent. Like their parent. You held this child for 9 months, Katie. Right? I don't hate to get all biblical, but you know, Psalms 139 says, God knew you before you were in your mother's womb. Right? How can you not fight for your child? How can you not fight for your child? You can, you know, the Bullhorn Betty stuff and all of that. Listen, you guys know how I feel about some of the things with Bullhorn Betty, right? You know, I've told you my story about her and all of that, but I don't know how anyone, especially a mother, can be mad at someone for driving hundreds of miles and just putting out some fucking flyers. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like, I would be like, God bless you. Thank you. You may think I'm an asshole, but thank you. You know what I mean? You might, if I was Katie, you might think I'm guilty, but thank you for at least putting out those flyers. If I was, right, if I was Katie and she claims to be innocent, so you can think what you think, but I appreciate you putting out those flyers. That's just the way I feel. I'm not going to lie to you how I feel. Like I always say, you feel how you feel because based upon whatever you do, but that's how I feel. Now, do I think that BHB, some of the things she says, is absolutely off the wall? Sometimes. I'll just be honest with you. But I appreciate anyone with putting out flyers for Sebastian, searching for Sebastian. How can someone fault that? I don't understand it, to be quite honest with you. Right. I just don't understand it. I don't know. I don't know. And it it's not about Betty. It's really about Katie. Katie, what is it that you're not advocating for your child? Sebastian needs you. Sebastian needs you, right? KP got a TPO on BHB, but yet lets Chris hit her child with the belt. Yeah. I mean, make that make sense. That's a good point. That's a good point. Always late. I mean, I mean, this is, CP is someone that actually lived in that house, right? Right. And in my opinion, Lisa, I do believe her heart knows what she should do. Her heart does. Right. And if Katie just asked for, help, she would have an army behind her. If she knows more, and if she didn't do it, in my opinion. I'm not saying she did. Misty, thank you so much. Toby, thank you so much. Really appreciate y'all. Bastion Rogers, you've got all this cult or behind you. We find out the truth and you will get the justice you deserve. Amen. Thank you. Katie come to social media and asked for our help. We are helping, but yet they keep doing to hinder Sebastian being found. And that's the thing. They did come for help, right? As far as putting his word out and all of that. But you can't stop someone's opinion either. That's just freedom, In my opinion, CP and K are lying about phone call and timeline. Also, why are all the family, coworkers, and acquaintances so quiet? That's unusual. Well, I think some people has been allegedly, or in my opinion, told to that they can't speak, especially like neighbors and stuff, Toby. I don't know about coworkers or anything like that. Nina was very brave and said what she said, but they were absolutely, attacked her for just telling her truth. And I believe it as well. I believe every word she said personally. But the Bauer Foots, there was former employees and others who have spoken out. One called in here before. They called in on other channels before mine. So yeah, thank you so much. C has snitched on himself many times. Like C said, he woke Kay up and told her put the dogs up, and go to bed when C wasn't home. Dog slept with her. He admitted he was there. I agree with caller, my opinion. Absolutely. Absolutely. One second.
I have a quick question.
Sure, Rhonda. Hey.
In one of the early interviews, didn't CP say that he had to go clean the camper and give it to his parents because they were taking it on a trip?
Oh, damn.
If he did, maybe all those hours was hiding Sebastian in the camper so they could take him to Alaska.
In your opinion,
And
allegedly.
I'm pretty sure he said he was giving it back to his parents. They had to take it to Alaska.
No, they didn't take it to Alaska because they flew to Alaska.
Oh, I thought somebody said that they had. I'm pretty sure CP said they needed it. Are you certain they flew?
Yeah, they flew to Alaska, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they flew.
Let's find out, because if they didn't fly and they drove that RV, there's plenty of places to cross into Alaska without going through a customs. You know, you just drive straight through. They're not going to check anything. It's just another state.
He said he had
But
to
however
give
they
it back
I'm
to
pretty
his.
sure they drove.
Lisa said he had to give it back to his mother.
Right, so I'm thinking
They drove to Seattle, Washington to fly to Alaska. That's what it was.
Well, they could have disposed of him along the way. I think his body was put in that camper, and that's what CP was doing, was getting the body hidden well enough for his parents to hide it somewhere out of state.
Okay, in your opinion, allegedly. Come on.
In my opinion, only in my opinion.
Okay.
I just wanted to check because I'm certain I heard that CP said he was going to get the camper, had to clean it and give it back to his mother. And if that's the case, it's really suspect. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to find out.
Look, you just dropped a bomb. Okay, that's it, Justin. God bless you, honey.
Okay, well, I'm glad I could drop a bomb. I'm pretty certain they drove, and I'm pretty certain it was the RV that CP had to go get, and I suspect he hit him well in there. FBI, open up! That's just a thought. But, I mean, that's a long ways from where they live to Washington. A whole lot of heavy woods. And Chris is pretty certain they're never going to find him.
Yeah. He was cleaning it to give to mother.
Yes, and that's very suspect to me. You have a missing child and mommy's getting the RV back. Well, I'm glad I could drop a bomb on you, Justin.
You dropped a bomb on me. Yeah, I need to look more into that part.
Yeah, would you? Because I know you're really good at digging around.
And they moved campgrounds, yes.
Yeah, and if it was a private flight, like somebody just mentioned in chat, I mean, very easy to load a big duffel bag on of 105 to 115 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm just saying, if they did take a private flight, really easy to throw a duffel bag on there.
Yeah, I think he would. I mean, to be honest with you, I think if that was the case, I honestly don't think that he would have. Let's say any of that is true. I don't think he would have made it to Alaska because things change very quickly, chemistry, unless.
Yeah, I think they had to do it within that first 24 hours, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
just something to think on.
Yeah.
Because he told the cops he had to go bring his RV home, but yet he told the interview he had to give it to mom.
Where did he say that at? Damn, where did he say that at?
I'm not sure, but I know I heard it. I mean, I know I've heard it, and it's just been bothering me, and I just wanted to double check if somebody else had heard that. And a lot of people in chat are saying, yeah, they also have heard it. So at least I'm not crazy. Well,
Is
maybe I
that
am, but
is that why he gets up in arms when you mentioned the Bowerfoots?
I think so, because I think he put him in their RV. Just a
Wow.
thought.
Does anyone believe?
I do believe the audio.
I mean, I personally do, but I'm not. I can't confirm it because
Right.
I can't
No,
tell
in
you
my
who
opinion,
it's from.
real.
Yeah, I can't tell you who
Right.
it's from. I don't know. That's why,
But
you
it's
know.
just really odd that they would have to switch campers right then in the middle of a missing child.
Yeah, within okay, so let's think about that, right? Sebastian, they wake up she wakes up 6 o'clock Monday morning, right? CP doesn't get home till about 1:30, right? 1:30 Monday.
Right.
Okay. So Monday 1:30, Tuesday 1:30, Wednesday morning ish, less than 48 hours or about 48 hours, you are going to get that camper. Why? I wouldn't give a wooden nickel about a camper if first of all, CP himself said he pays up to 3 months in advance, at least
Right.
monthly, at the very least. If he just went and well, he also moved
And it's the night that this
from that.
occurred around 3 a.m. He could have easily wrapped him up in plastic and some other things and put him in a bag so there would be no odors or seepage. And very need to get cadaver dogs in the RV that the Stinkfoots took.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they got cadaver dogs in there, it might be very interesting.
I don't know. I just don't know. I really don't know. But I want to know where he said that, because I do remember him.
I wouldn't be surprised now if that RV goes up in flames just because.
I don't know. That's just
They're
weird.
going to dispose of it if there's evidence and they're hearing, this. So.
In your opinion?
They can't let it be found. They cannot let it be found. But anyways, I don't want to take up any more time. I just wanted to throw the RV thing at you and see if I wanted it out of my head and out into everybody else's head.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So, I mean, we need to brainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, thank you so much for the time and the call. I appreciate you.
Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, and move his camper 2 times. Right. If you pay a month or upwards to 3 months, is what he said, why are you moving it? Now, do I think he's in Alaska? I don't at all. But I do think if it is the same camper, then that's quite interesting, don't you think? If they did something, he could be anywhere. It would. So, going to Katie is okay. They search you at the Canadian border. Yes, they do. They do. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, they check your plane. I don't care if it's private or not. Check. Hello.
My name is Mary Mayo.
How are you doing, dear?
I've been listening. Oh, I'm hanging in there. I'm nocturnal, so I'm just, starting my day, actually. Anyway, I listen to you a lot, and I've been listening tonight.
Uh-huh.
That one lady that was on forever and ever.
Yeah.
I agreed with her a lot. I agreed with just about everything she said. I have a couple concerns. First, just not even talking about Sebastian. I just got into true crime since the Sebastian case, okay?
Uh-huh.
And I have a couple friends that got me into it. Anyway, the first thing, and I'm trying to be funny here, because I'm a 71-year-old woman, okay?
Sure.
I've experienced life, I've seen life, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I could not get a grip on the YouTube language. Okay? In my opinion, allegedly, unalive, RSO. I mean, the first thing I thought of was, how stupid. So I understand you guys have to follow rules, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it's the stupidest rules I've ever heard of, because it's another thing that takes away people's intelligence. It took me a while to figure out what this letter meant, what that letter meant. I'm not going to lie to you. So I felt like I learned a whole new language.
Yeah.
Now that I've said that, there's two concerns I have. The one is sorry, I'm out of breath. I have respiratory.
You're fine.
Anyway, the pictures of Chris's arms and Chris's hands. I have always had a question about that not enough was talked about. I mean, do the police even know that they exist? Because I don't believe the police follow true crime as everybody thinks they do.
They do. Trust.
Okay?
They do. I promise. They really do. They watch us. They do.
Okay, well, I'm glad they're watching, because to me that was evidence. I would have scraped Chris's arm to get DNA out of those wounds.
Well, but the thing is,
I was a sergeant.
But the thing is, they thought that, and they're still not saying that. I want to make this very clear. They're not naming anyone suspects at this point.
I understand.
But they thought that a child just walked out the door, because that is what they were told.
Because they were told by Chris and Katie, and they believed them. And that is mistake number one, in my opinion.
I agree.
Allegedly.
I agree.
That was they should have taped that house down and treated it as a crime scene. And I'll tell you why. Because if they wouldn't have found anything, all those police had to do was say, "I'm sorry." They don't owe those people nothing, but they did their job thoroughly, correct? And they didn't do their job thoroughly. So Chris and Katie got away, allegedly, in my opinion, with, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my other concern right now is there's all this crap going on, and I try to watch different sites, but I don't like the drama, man.
Yeah.
And it is taken away from Sebastian.
It is. It's
So my
everything about
concern now
Sebastian.
is everything's about Sebastian. Correct. That dear young man needs to be found. And I want to know who's got their eye on Katie Chris, the Bowersock. I mean, okay, allegedly they're not suspects, but allegedly they could be. And are you really keeping track on these people? Because my personal opinion, allegedly,
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be clear. They haven't named anyone as suspects, but they haven't ruled out foul play, right? So,
exactly.
yeah, so exactly, yes.
Exactly. So you would think that if they didn't rule out foul play, if they would kind of be keeping an eye on everybody. And personally, I haven't heard anything about where Chris and Katie are lately. We know where Seth has been and what he's been doing, but we don't hear anything about the Bowersock or Katie and Chris. And are they watching over them? Because I personally feel, Justin, that they're moving the body. I think that
Oh, wow.
when we get sidetracked, you know, when they bought a piece of clothing or whatever, somebody's placing that there because they're probably getting close. And so they do that to sidetrack people. And while people are sidetracked, they're moving this deep intuition that possibly could be happening. Does that make any sense?
I mean, I don't know. Anything is possible.
I haven't heard about cadaver dogs anymore. I'll tell you the one gentleman I've been following. Silver's on the scene.
Yeah, I love Silver.
He's really interesting, and he doesn't drag it out for 3 hours, right? He comes on, he gives you the facts, you've got an update, and it makes you think, right?
Yeah.
He's not into all the drama. He's out there looking for Sebastian.
Yeah, and that's why I appreciate it. And that's why I've sent a lot of people over there to Silver, because, I appreciate anybody getting out there and searching, because you may not find him, but you know where he's not. Right? You know where he's not.
Well, and I used to live in Clarksville because that's where I met my husband through Fort Campbell. And so I resided there in a while, and I actually worked at the library service for 5 years there. And so we used to go to White House Library. There's a lot of desolate areas there. I mean, we would drive a bookmobile, okay, and deliver books to different communities that didn't have, they had a one-room combination grocery store with a library and a pharmacy. I mean, you're talking real hick town, you know what I'm saying? Country. And there's a lot of areas between Nashville and Clarksville that have those areas. We even used to go to Loretta Lynn's Ranch, which is south. We went to like 4 different counties. So I drove through a lot of country roads. There's a lot of woods around there. And my big concern is, even though the Proudfoots are Navy, there's Fort Campbell there. And we used to live off of the back 40. That's what they called the back 40, where they played their war games. And I actually went fishing on Fort Campbell in a lake. I could go on Fort Campbell to a lake and fish. So there are a lot of places that these two allegedly, but I'm allegedly going to call them criminals, because allegedly, in my heart, in my eyes, they did something to that child. Allegedly. And I don't know. I wish they would just keep, instead of all these creators arguing and complaining about name calling, and, I haven't found a real true investigative reporter since probably the 80s. I'm being honest. I live in Ohio now, and we had some investigative reporters, because I live near a big city they used to call Little Mafia, and if you were getting too close to something, they shut you down. So lots of times investigative reporters get threatened, even indirectly. They get threatened when they're getting close to something. And so you can't find too many of them. They'll only go so far, and then they stop.
Yeah.
You have to actually notice that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
even
some,
with-
yeah, you have to,
Yeah, it's part of life today. I mean, you get too close to something, and someone stalks you, and then they try to work around it to keep their reputation. Okay,
mhm.
but they're pretty stuck. I don't know. It's just a bad thing out there. But we have to find Sebastian. And if I wish I lived closer. But I sit and you know how they say, someone that's a couch potato with football and all that. I'm at my dining room table constantly on my iPad, trying to get all the information I can. And there's just so much garbage out there that people have to erase from their heads. People have to start making a list of what the actual facts are. And you've been doing that because I've noticed you've been going back from the beginning and kind of...
Beginning is key. It's key. Beginning is always key.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And
'Cause-
the other thing is that we don't take gossip as, we have to kind of get away from, well, it could have been this. This is the fact. Where can this fact take us?
Mhm.
We can't, I understand people have all kind of, ideas and what could have happened, but those are just people's emotions.
Right.
They're
And
not facts.
that's why I always say it's okay you feel a certain way, but let's work through why you feel that way, right? Because feeling one way and not having any sort of basis of that takes you nowhere. It doesn't serve the purpose of really searching, investigating this,
Exactly. Now, here's just a clue that when you describe how the prospect explained what Sebastian had on. It was a black top, a black pants. Let's think about this for a minute. In any picture we have seen of Sebastian, have we ever seen him in all black? I haven't. There aren't a whole lot of pictures out there of Sebastian, but he's not in all black.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
So
there may be
look at that.
one at Seth's house. I'm trying to think. I think there might be one at Seth's house.
Is there? Okay.
I'm trying to remember that. It's when
Well-
it's the one with his where you can see him in the shoes. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, I guess that's just something. See, that's the question I have.
Yeah.
Has he ever worn all black? Okay, now if you say, factually that yes, there's a picture. Okay, then to me that's a fact. Okay.
I'm trying to find it
Like that.
to confirm it if he's actually in that, because I don't want to say 100% if I'm just
Right,
trying to go off
right.
my memory right now, but I'm looking as I speak to you.
But I have to agree 100% that woman a few callers back
Mhm.
it was on for so long. Allegedly, Katie should be charged in Ohio. You'd be charged with child neglect or abuse.
Yeah.
Children's Services would be on your doorstep, and you'd be down there in the police department, and they'd be questioning you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they charge you with child neglect or abuse because your child isn't here. Where
Right.
is your child? You were home, and so, and then I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
If the police did charge her with child abuse, can't they still go back and charge them with murder allegedly if they found the body and found
Yes.
the child body?
Yep. That's what she was speaking about earlier. You can, if you think, if they could if and that's if they would want to pursue it and prove, and if they did find that there was any sort of neglect or abuse. I take that back. That the photo I was thinking about, no, he's not in all black. So there we go.
So then that's not a fact that we should. That should be a question mark. That should be a red flag. Why is he in all black? In my opinion, allegedly, they described him in all black because they camouflaged him. And I do not believe he was the one allegedly that took the trash out. I believe it was Katie. I don't care what Seth or anybody else says. They say it was foggy and all that, and the picture was distorted. That was for a reason. I don't believe that was Sebastian that took that trash out.
See, I disagree with you on that. I actually think that he was. I do believe he took the trash out, and I personally feel like after he went back in, that's when something happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I believe it happened early in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always said that they got home something like between 6:30 and 6:45 that evening Sunday, right? It was like 6:49 or something, the Canadian. Supposedly, Sebastian got home from eating out at Texas Roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So from 7 o'clock till 6 in the morning, that's 11 hours. Okay, so when people say from midnight on, I don't believe that. I go all the way back to 7 p.m. in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because that's supposedly when she was on the phone. They say 9 o'clock, 9 to midnight. Okay. I do believe that Chris was
Mm-hmm.
in Andersonville. I believe that they used burner phones. I believe that he called or she called him. I believe they left the lines open because I believe something already happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe allegedly that Chris was on his way back and they used burner phones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I can't even believe that it was an accident. I believe for some reason I feel premeditation, and I have pretty good intuition. So I have always felt premeditation.
Yeah.
Always. Because Chris couldn't stand Sebastian, and Katie didn't want to lose Chris, and it's just that full emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I think they planned it.
Yeah. It's very possible. Dear, I want to thank you for calling. I just got some information in about another case that I need to speak about. So I'm going to turn the phone lines off, but please call back again sometimes. It was so nice speaking with you.
Yes, thanks for listening to me, and God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you. Good caller. Good caller. So the Summer Wells stuff has just came out. I was
has now been more than 3 years.
I was thinking that it was going to be longer than 4 minutes. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Breezy, thank you again so much, my dear. Really do appreciate the support, my love. Thank you, guys. You guys are very nice to me. Really do appreciate it. Thought it was going to be a lot longer than 4 minutes.
Since a 5-year-old girl
Came out
disappeared
7
from
minutes
her
ago.
Hawkins County home, never to be seen again. TBI investigators say the search for Summer Wells is still active, and they refuse to call the case cold. In tonight's Appalachian Unsolved, 10 News anchor Brittany Bailey.
They refuse to call the case cold, Don and Candace, but yet they don't do anything or have never done anything.
He talks to Summer's father and looks into why the search efforts so far have come up empty.
Bless her heart.
It's the face that launched 1,000 tips, searches, social media posts, conspiracy theories, and one big question: what happened to Summer Wells?
She could be being tormented every day, tortured every day. She could be
tormented or tortured every day. Don has always loved to say that.
locked in a basement with chains. She could be going the rounds with drug dealers. There's all kinds of things.
Her
But there
parents, you
is
mean?
a small bit of hope that she could be with possibly someone who cares about her. We don't
God
know.
knows, Don. God
These are the
knows.
thoughts that run through the mind of Summer's father, Don Wells. He says in the years since his daughter disappeared, he's been treated like everything from a grieving father to a prime suspect.
Guess what? Tell me. Oh my God, guys, this is going to drive me. I'm gonna start screaming. Start screaming. You said you would see her in the resurrection after 3 hours, Don. And what parents don't work with an investigation? The sheriff said that.
We don't pay no attention to them because they have no idea.
Then shut the hell up.
We can't go there because that's just a waste of time.
So you can say you had nothing to do with your daughter's
Yeah,
disappearance.
I absolutely can. A lot of times.
Watch those eyes.
Nothing to do with your daughter's
Yeah, I
disappearance.
absolutely can. Time.
So you can say you had nothing to do with your daughter's
Yeah,
disappearance.
I absolutely can.
You fucking
A lot of
demon.
times in our misery, at
Demon.
night when we can't sleep, we'd befriend somebody on Facebook and we'd talk back and forth, and then they'd come out and say, "Where's your daughter? We know you had something to do with it," and it would just rip your heart.
You wouldn't even answer. You wouldn't even answer the reporter, Don, when she asked you if you did something with your child. You answered and went on about a 10-minute charade and avoided the question.
Ripped out.
Many people have speculated what they think has happened in this case. The difficult part of the speculation is that if we as investigators speculate and focus our efforts in one direction, we're making a huge mistake.
TBI
Let me tell you something. In my opinion, there is not a chance in hell. My opinion. Butterfly kisses. That's where I want to find where she said that. But in my opinion, there's not a chance in hell that someone walked up that hill on the dead end road and took Summer with 2 adults outside and 3 children upstairs in 2 minutes. Not a chance.
Investigators say they
God
have to
knows,
explore
Don, and I'm going to leave it at that. God in heaven knows.
all possibilities, from Summer wandering away to her being kidnapped.
We look for children when most people aren't. And this case is one that we've just not been able to overcome, and it's troubling.
This case has been troubling for nearly everyone who has followed it, including many who didn't even know Summer personally.
I've got little blonde-headed, blue-eyed babies too. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see her and know that it could have been mine. I mean, it could be anybody's.
Adrienne Kelly is from Ohio, but when Summer's story started spreading online, she joined others from across the country in becoming deeply invested in Summer's disappearance.
The only thing that we can do is keep sharing her picture. And someone will know something, and someone will eventually report it. I have to hold that hope.
Yep. The 2 of them still live up there.
That hope has been simmering for more than
Demons
3
on the
years now.
hill.
Summer disappeared from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County around 6:30 p.m. on June 15th.
You see that? Hold on.
Hawkins County. Summer disappeared from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community of
Oh, wait.
Hawkins. Summer disappeared.
They live on a mountain. On a mountain. This is in their yard still. They live on a mountain where you can't even see the house
from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek
when the
community
leaves
of
are
Hawkins
on.
County around 6:30 p.m. on June 15th, 2021. Authorities set off on an exhaustive search lasting late into the night. And just after midnight on June 16th, the TBI issued an endangered child alert. Around 12 hours later, that was upgraded to an Amber Alert, which is still active today. In the days that followed, crews searched more than 3,000 acres using helicopters, planes, drones, and scent tracking dogs.
Last summer, two children went missing in East Tennessee around Summer's age. They found both of them. Different situations, different children. One within 5 hours and the other one within, I think it was within 12 hours. They find them.
Then in June of 2023, 2 years after Summer went missing, the TBI released an
Exactly,
enhanced age
Janine.
progression photo of what Summer might look like. Today, she would be 8 years old.
We have thrown everything that we know to throw at this case, and we haven't had the answers that we need to get. We know we'll get them, but we don't have them today. When I see the picture of Summer Wells, I see my daughter. And I can tell you that if my daughter was missing, I would sure hope that somebody was looking for her every day.
Do you feel like you'll ever see your daughter again?
Eventually. I don't know about in this life, but
You're a demon.
eventually, yeah.
You may remember back in July of 2021, the Department of Children's Services confirmed Summer's brothers were removed from the home.
Yeah, one was found with the family dog, Mohawk. Yes, you're right, in East Tennessee. They had, what, over 15 dogs? There was over 15 dogs at their house. One mother dog on the side of the house, underneath the house, had a bunch of puppies. Before you even, the moment you turn on their road at the blue house, way before you're at the driveway, those dogs start barking.
Don Wells tells 10 News he and Candace recently signed over their parental rights to the boys. We did reach out to DCS for comment, but we're told DCS could not release case-specific information. We also reached out to the Hawkins County Sheriff for this story. The sheriff declined an interview, but said the case is still a priority and will continue to be until Summer is found.
If you have any information on this case, you can contact the East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen.
You know, I try to look at the silver lining in everything. I really do. But let me tell you something. The only silver lining I see is that those children have clean beds now. They have security. They have stability. They don't have to watch those two fight and scream at each other about who drank up all the beer, who smoked all the weed, the math, all of that. That is the only thing I can absolutely think of. That infuriates me. It infuriates me. They live in the middle of nowhere. And in my opinion, that has been the thing that, number one, why, in my opinion, they would not be, no one would, sorry, I'm looking for something. I'm going to show you something here in just a second. In my opinion, why no one would ever come up and pick up a child like that in the middle of nowhere. Let me just play something for you because that just fired me up. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is a call of Don and Candace fighting, and you hear Summer in the back, "Mommy, help me." "Mom, help me." "Trying to hurt my daughter. Trying to hurt my daughter. Mom, help me." Candace told someone to go put clothes on her. Yep. Disgusting. Absolutely pitiful that this child had. I'm just trying to show you guys something here. I'm trying to find it. I haven't dug it out in a while. It is just absolutely frightening that these children lived in such conditions that just so many kids do every day. And thank God that they got out of it. At least 3 of them did. Well, 6 of them did. 6 of Candace's children, and then Summer is not found, of course. So there's that. Almost there, guys. I promise. I'm just trying to find this because someone sees that. It's just despicable. I can't believe they only did 4 minutes. 4 minutes. This was Little Summer. This isn't what I was looking for, but still. Just show you. This is Little Summer Wells inside of her home. Who was hurting her? She was claiming her father, the one that was just on that saying, "I don't know if I'll see her in this life." The interview we just watched, that's Little Summer. The filth. There it is. That's the door. I'm pretty sure in the basement. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there she is. Look at the walls and all that. That was Summer's dog. Yeah, bless her heart. It breaks my heart. Yeah. Yeah, this is the door down in the garage, down in the basement that they took her out of. Someone allegedly came in, stole her as she immediately went down in the basement. Not a chance. This was yeah, nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. You're right, Elisa. Nothing has been done. Pamela, thank you so much, my dear. Really appreciate your support. Thank you, my dear. Yeah, nothing has been done. Just trying to find. I've got photos of. I wanted to show you her bedroom. Oh my God. You would, I mean, just the shock of what you're going to see is, I don't know what the hell I did with it. Okay, here it is. I found it. I finally found it. Didn't mean to get on this tangent, but that pissed me off, y'all. This is the door that they say someone took Summer out of. Someone ran up a mountain on a dead-end road in the middle of nowhere, while catty corner, there's a camper. Grandma's sitting down in the doorway, and Candace is supposedly fixing her knee brace. It's the biggest crock of shit. This is the entrance to the house where the boys, Don built him a bed out of wood that I'm sure he took from somewhere, one of the houses, but not a sheet on the bed, not a pillow, nothing. This was, and let me tell you something, this is the best bedroom in the house. This is Summer's bedroom. Right here. This is Summer's bedroom. This is what Summer's bedroom was. This is a dungeon. There's no overhead light. There's not even overhead ceiling. It looks like an abandoned house. This is the mountain that they live on. Looking over, they're saying someone ran up this house, ran up this mountain, ran up, grabbed Summer. Nobody heard anything, and they ran down it. Yeah, with 15 freaking dogs there, that the dogs will meet you at the bottom of the driveway, or at least the very top of the driveway, where you can at least see them. They run halfway down the driveway, or more than halfway down. It's the biggest lie I've ever seen in my life, but let me just show you. Look at all the dogs. Dogs for days. These were TBI photos. But they lived with two of Arkansas's biggest RSOs. Sorry, this is my 5. God. Hold on.
This.
One second. Bear with me. I want to show you all a photo. This is the house that they live on. This is a big ass mountain. And this is the bottom. like of Ben Hill Road. It's a dead end road. Someone, they're saying, went all the way up here and took the child. This is the outside of the house. Grandma was supposedly sitting right here, getting her knee brace fixed. Candace was supposedly helping her. Summer said she wanted to go play with their brothers. Candace walks over, said, "Watch your sister, boys. I want to go fix mom's knee brace." She was gone for 2 minutes. She says, she came back. She said, "Where's your daughter? Or where's Summer?" And the boy said, "Oh, mom, she went downstairs." That's what Candace said, the mother. And she yelled for her, and Summer didn't answer. And she went downstairs, and Summer wasn't there. They said, "Well, do you remember if the door was open or not downstairs?" Don't really know. This photo right here was earlier on that day when Summer was swimming. This is Don and Candace's first interview. You think Chris and Katie waited a long time? Well, they waited 13 days before they did their first interview, and they said they'll see her in the resurrection. This is one of, they of course cut Summer's hair bald. Like, this is, her hair is long compared to what it was. It's very short here. This is one of the last photos Don ever took with his daughter. He looks like he's got something in his eyes, doesn't he? Here's, of course, Don's one of his criminal photos. Here's another one. This is, I don't know if it's a kitchen or a living room. I think it's a kitchen, or I don't even know what the hell it is. That's one of the rooms. This is the bottom of the driveway. You enter up. When you go at the entrance of the road, as soon as you turn on the road and just start going a little bit, those dogs come right here. I've got photos of the winter. I've been there in all 4 seasons. And okay, yeah, here is me being here the winter time. It's hard to see, but you can see the dogs up there. They come to the road. Full of shit, Don and Candace. This is one of Summer and her little friend. One of the last photos. She looks sick there, malnourished, definitely, in my opinion. This is a letter that Candace was sending to Don while Don was in jail. This is some of the things that the TBI took. They took an LG track phone, a quilted bag containing picnic items, and a blanket, Cowboys bag, Old Navy boot, cut jeans, size 14, multicolored, striped t-shirt, Old Navy size medium, t-shirt size medium, an Apple iPad, 16 gigabyte, Samsung cell phone, HP laptop, Toshiba laptop. Why don't you tell them, Candace, about the phones that you threw in the pond that we do have you on recording, Candace, that we also turned into the FBI. This is one of the mattresses they put outside. This is the door. This is Summer's room after they cleaned it. This is literally after they cleaned it. Literally after they cleaned it. Yep, every room would have a separate page. Absolutely, yes. That's the only one I have. This was Summer's room. This is it. To the left was just a little while after she went missing. Why aren't they charged? Because it's Tennessee. It's Tennessee. Why do I think this happened? I think the parents didn't care. This happened because either someone got mad and snapped, or pigs live better. Yes, they do, butterflies. Yep. Or there was Summer took some, she wasn't fed all day as well. She might have taken some medication. There's a lot. It's another one of those cases where I understand that it's yeah. She said she wanted to go get, play with toys in her room. There is not a light in that room. The only reason you can see light there right now is because the doors are open. All the windows are covered. You want to talk about the two sorriest parents, Don and Candace. Two sorriest God ever stretched a piece of skin over. And you're gonna face them, Don and Candace. Can't imagine. Yep, it looks like an abandoned home. But this was where her and her young brother slept. Futon mattresses. I mean, look at this. Look at this photo right here. They put futon mattresses. I mean, the kid didn't have 2 feet to sleep. I mean, I'm sure they rolled out of the bed. It doesn't matter if you're poor, doesn't matter. Poor does not equal dirty. Doesn't equal dirty. They attempted to clean the room in the dungeon after the Dr. Phil. Yeah, before the Dr. Phil. Yeah. Yeah. They cleaned it to make it. I think I have the photo. I don't know if I have it here. This is the last known photo of Summer. They said she fell asleep just before. They said she fell asleep right before she got home. Now, it's very interesting. They got home at 3:09. At 3:09, Don says he is at work, right? But at 3:15 or 3:30, I can't remember. It's been so long. 3:15 or 3:30. I think it's 3:30. All of their phones, Don's words, 3:30 onward, are deleted. Don blames it on law enforcement. Hey, Prairie. Good to see you, buddy. Where does message go? Poor doesn't equal. Yeah, it doesn't. No, we were poor. We were clean as could be. Poor doesn't mean dirty. It doesn't mean uneducated. It doesn't mean any of those. It just means you have a lack of money doesn't make you a good person, doesn't make you a bad person. You can be the best parent in the world and be poor. You can be the horrible parent and be the wealthiest person. It does nothing to do with, it might give you more freedoms, right? It makes life a lot easier. But it has nothing to do with character or how clean you are. Bless you, Grace. Poor doesn't mean abuse either. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. But anyway, few minutes, within 15, 20 minutes of this photo, Don says his phone was deleted from then 3:30 forward, and he wasn't even allegedly around the home. Candace's and grandma's. Yeah. Depression causes lack of motivation. It does. It can. Or it can also do the opposite. It can make you, but so does, never mind. Right, Roxy, exactly. Anywho, guys, I'm going to end it here. I've been here 3 hours. Appreciate you all so much. God bless each and every single one of you. Thank you to the mods, members, those who donated, everyone being in chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. We pray to God that Sebastian's case does not end up like Summer's. Summer has been almost 3 years and 3 months or so. And we pray that's not the way Sebastian's goes. We pray that all of these kids are found and justice is served. And if it doesn't happen in this life, I assure you, God will settle the score always. And that is the only thing that gives me any comfort personally, is God will. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So that's all I got to say. Sorry, I got a little fired up over that. He is a triggering bastard. Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you. You could have chosen to be anywhere for the last 3 hours, and you chose to be here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your trust, your everything. Just thank you for everything. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, guys. God bless each and every one of you. I will be live tomorrow and Sunday. You'll see me a lot. I'll probably be doing 2 lives on the weekends, maybe 3. It just depends. We'll see. Love you guys. Good night.